Jungkook, known to be the most private when it comes to personal matters, chose to speak. This was not a light decision. If he did it, then something very serious is happening. Jimin, known for his physical discipline and dedication to choreography, has apparently been hiding a physical condition that can no longer be ignored. An unnamed medical source, in a report leaked from the military environment, stated that Jimin is undergoing continued treatment after completing his military service. This raises a big question. If his duty is ended, why is he still receiving intensive care? Suspicion grows that this is not a typical injury. The emerging issue suggests that Jimin is experiencing a relapse of an old injury sustained before entering the military. However, the physical strain during training worsened the condition. This is not a surface wound. Indications point to spinal damage or a nervous system disorder. In the medical world, such conditions rarely fully recover and almost always require permanent lifestyle adjustments. Since this information spread, fans' digital traces reveal long-standing suspicion. They began digging through old footage, moments when Jimin walked slower than usual, missed certain choreography, or just stood while other members danced. All these video fragments are now analyzed as clues of something deeper and heavier than what the public has understood. The official stance from management does not help. The agency merely stated that Jimin is resting, and there is no need for concern. That statement is seen as insufficient by fans and observers. They view it as a shallow diversion for an incident with international concern. The main information remains sealed. And this silence only fuels speculation and unease. Did I end his interview? Jungkook said, "There are things that cannot be controlled even when we're careful." That sentence implies that Jimin's condition is not due to negligence, but something that couldn't be prevented. Jungkook also stated that they had all known about it for a long time. This means it's a medical issue that has existed for quite a while and was hidden from the public. Internal sources say that after leaving the military, Jimin did not immediately return to his private home. He underwent extended medical observation at a military facility. This protocol is only applied to personnel with long-term physical trauma or medical conditions requiring ongoing care. This fact indicates that Jimin may not be able to resume normal activities as before. This is a crisis. Visual evidence supports this assumption. In the final military discharge moment, some eyewitnesses stated that Jimin appeared to struggle when walking, especially when descending stairs. His movements were unnatural, even stiff. However, he still smiled. His display of professionalism only deepened the fans' heartache, as the smile is now seen as an attempt to mask a harsher reality. The ARMY community responded swiftly. Some fan groups began organizing support campaigns. Some expressed readiness to help with recovery costs, although there's no proof Jimin needs financial aid. This action reflects the emotional depth of the idol-fan relationship, a bond not just musical, but existential. Several health analysts contacted by local media suspect Jimin may be experiencing spinal degeneration or a chronic neurological condition affecting mobility. If this is true, then Jimin is likely to face long-term physical limitations. It would not only impact daily life, but also close the door to stage performances requiring high endurance. Jimin's absence from social media for more than 2 weeks is also a serious sign. He hasn't posted a single update, hasn't commented on other members' posts, and hasn't appeared in public. In South Korea's entertainment world, this pattern is often linked to medical recovery or serious personal crises. Meanwhile, other BTS members remain silent. No open messages, no support posts. For fans, this silence doesn't mean indifference, but rather an indication they're waiting for the right time to speak. Public pressure is rising. However, most true fans choose to wait respectfully, though anxiously. It must be emphasized that until now, there is no official medical documentation detailing Jimin's condition. All circulating information stems from implied statements, visual observation, and anonymous military sources. Yet, the accumulation of evidence and testimony is enough to conclude this is not a trivial issue. In BTS's history, this is one of the lowest points ever experienced. not because of scandal or internal conflict, but because of something uncontrollable, a human body weakened by time and pressure. For fans who have followed BTS for over a decade, this news hits as an emotional blow that is hard to process. Jungkook has done the hardest part. He opened a door that had long been tightly closed. Now the world knows that Jimin is facing something big. Will he be able to return to his old self? Will he stand on stage again with full strength? Or is this the point where Jimin must choose a quieter life, far from the spotlight and choreography? No one knows for sure. But clearly, Jungkook's statement was not merely a show of solidarity. It was a warning that Jimin's condition is real, serious, and possibly permanent. Not all wounds are visible, and not all struggles can be shown on screen. Fans now wait, with tears, with prayers, and with fear unlike ever before. If it's true that Jimin must live with this medical condition for life, then this is not just about an injured idol. This is a moment when the world must face the reality that even someone as strong as Jimin is not immune to the limits of the human body. Army cries. The world watches, and time moves on without certainty. In this kind of situation, an unavoidable question arises. Does the circulating information truly reflect Jimin's actual condition, or is it a constructed narrative designed to cause a stir? Is Jungkook's statement a warning signal about a real situation long hidden, or merely an emotional statement twisted by social media and public consumption? It must be stated that most information about Jimin's condition comes from social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and fan community forums. These sources cannot be considered credible journalistic references without cross-verification through official medical data or direct statements from relevant parties. Therefore, before making any final conclusions, readers must ask, does this information come from an authorized authority, or is it merely a speculative opinion that went viral due to emotional appeal? When the public is filled with emotion, critical thinking tends to weaken. This is the main concern in this event. The massive reaction from Global Army is a reflection of genuine care, but without a strong foundation of information, uncontrolled empathy can turn into misdirected consumption. Are we, as spectators and fans, truly seeking the truth, or just trying to validate assumptions we believe to be true because of personal emotion? Jungkook has indeed spoken, but can his statement be taken as a valid basis to conclude that Jimin is facing a chronic medical condition for life? There is no official medical data, no scientific explanation verifying the type of injury, severity, or long-term prognosis. In the interview, Jungkook avoided technical details, refused to mention medical terms, and only conveyed general concern. Is this enough to regard the situation as a permanent health crisis? The public must be invited to revisit how this information spread. Viral content on TikTok and YouTube, twisted snippets from interviews, and fan theories uploaded without authentic sources all contributed to a panic atmosphere that may not be proportional. The question, are we falling victim to a digital industry that prioritizes sensationalism for clicks, views, and impressions, not truth? Amid the lack of official information, many narratives are formed by online communities. Some Twitter users claim to have access to military staff, while anonymous accounts share insider information about Jimin's medical schedule. Yet, none of them present concrete proof. Shouldn't this serve as a warning that we're entering an unverified information stream? Within the framework of journalistic ethics, medical and personal information requires extra caution. Spreading assumptions about chronic conditions without official documentation is not only unprofessional, but also violates privacy rights. So, the next important question is, do the public, including fans, have the right to demand medical clarity from an artist? Or is this exploitation of unverified suffering? If it is true that Jimin has a medical condition affecting his future, then the public will know through official channels. But if not, and all this is merely a misinterpretation amplified by social media, then we are witnessing a clear example of how disinformation can damage someone's reputation and mental health. In this situation, who is truly responsible, deeper reflection is needed. Why is the public so quick to believe a 1-minute TikTok video presenting a dramatic narrative without proof? Why do we trust fan theories on Twitter more than wait for statements from credible sources? Have we lost information resilience because we're too used to instant content? It's important to remember that in South Korea's entertainment industry, artists have the right to maintain their privacy space. Not everything unseen is something hidden. Jimin's absence from social media could mean many things: physical recovery, emotional fatigue, or even just a break to calm himself. Interpreting every silence as a sign of illness is a dangerous oversimplification.